Hi friends, I'm Mr. JT, and today we are talking about trace drawing. What's trace drawing? Well, trace drawing is a monotype technique, which is a type of printmaking where you make one original print with no copies. So what's a trace drawing? A trace drawing is when you apply the ink in a kind of backwards fashion. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, but the result is this really great, rich, kind of hazy line, depending on the type of ink that you're using. Today, we're going to be using Akua Intaglio ink, and it's nice and thin, so it transfers that line really beautifully. So everybody, what I'm doing right now is I am putting just a little bit of that phthalo blue ink, which is going to be really, really pretty, I think. This is my image. That's just an old piece of artwork that didn't really go anywhere, so we're gonna do some trace drawing on it and see if we can kind of bring it back to life. For trace drawing, you don't need a super thick field of ink. What you really need is something that is just semi-transparent on your piece of plexiglass. About like this. This is a good spot. Now that we have our ink all done, now we're gonna arrange our artwork. As you can see, I've already done. And I put a piece of tape right here. Just a little piece of masking tape. And we're gonna gently, don't smoosh it, we're gonna gently lay our artwork over this blue ink. And then using something like a pencil, a pen, or a knitting needle, now we're gonna go through and very quickly begin to compose some images and see what happens. So what's happening is I am using the pencil on this side of the paper, and we're pushing the paper into the ink rather than pushing the ink into the paper. I like to do, especially when I'm experimenting, I just like to do a variety of lines just to see how everything's transferring. Let's do another star right here, another one there, and some little dashes. Okay. You ready? There we go. Now everybody, remember what I was talking about? You get this really magnificent hazy line. So I'm gonna keep on working this up for a minute and I'll get back to you. Okay friends, now that I've been working on this for a minute, this is what the trace drawing looks like. Now, I love to work in a really gestural fashion when it comes to trace drawing. Now, with this ink, it doesn't dry very quickly, so you can leave it on your plate and layer and have time to really think about what you're doing. But if you're using another type of ink, say like block printing ink, if that's what you have on hand, you're gonna have a bit of a time limit because that ink's gonna start drying down. But that's what I like about the Akua, is it doesn't dry very quickly, giving you lots of time to think. Okay, now we're gonna approach it from a different angle. What you're gonna need for this is a piece of wax paper or deli paper. And then once again, some ink, but not tons and tons of ink. I'm now gonna use some of this phthalo green because the phthalo blue was really, really cool. And I'm just gonna put out a little bit ink, just a tiny bit, not a whole lot. And I'm gonna smooth it out because I don't want it to be super caked up on my wax paper. Makes it much harder if it's splotchy on the wax paper. The wax paper, lordy. Now I'm gonna take one of the sheets of paper that we made last week, which is nice and soft and not really great for the first technique. So if you've got a softer, thicker piece of paper and you still wanna do a trace drawing on it, all you have to do is get some wax paper. And on the wax paper, you will be amazed at what gentle pressure it takes to apply a mark. So just imagine all the different things that you can do with this. Remember, keep those lines delicate. It's It's not gonna need very much. There's a sweet little peach. How about a little bit of line work? And I really like this technique when paired with a softer, fuzzier paper like this. You can also work in a really gestural way. So if you wanted to start turning this into a portrait, maybe we'd start working kind of like this. Okay, everybody, almost done. There we go. So see, I got a little bit carried away. But once you start working in this method, it's so easy to start layering and adding lots of different types of value. I really, really enjoyed just working on this over the past 20 minutes or so. So in conclusion, trace drawing is really, really cool. I hope that you enjoyed taking a few minutes with us. I hope that you have a lovely day and a lovely week, and I hope that you try this technique at home with a variety of materials. Until next time, my name is Mr. JT. I'll see you all soon.